Hello and welcome to the Happy Insights podcast. My name is Happy Ali, and we have an incredibly valuable show for you today. And when I say we, I mean me. But I wanted to talk about something extremely important, and it's about how much your soul's purpose prior to being born, or even when you are on this earth navigating through life, has a say in what's going on in your life and how it shows it. And sometimes it shows it in ways that feel amazing, and sometimes it shows it in ways that don't feel so amazing. The reason I am talking about this is because sometimes we try to do things or we choose a path in our lives and everything seems to go very well. Opportunities keep coming up, just things seem to just flow naturally, and it feels like you are supported by every single force in the universe. And sometimes we make a decision, we make a change in our life, we point ourselves in a certain direction, and things don't go our way. And we try so hard, we take every actionable step that makes sense, but it feels like there's something blocking our progress. So I hope that excites you. That idea is fun and important at the same time. Okay, so let me break it down for you. There is your soul's trajectory before it comes into this world, and your soul says, hey, I kind of want to give you these skills, these talents, these abilities, this amount of attractiveness, this amount of issues, this amount of blockages. It has a plan for you. And it's not like a detailed plan that if you don't follow, the world falls apart. But just as you do anything with intention now in your life on this planet, when you choose to have a body, when you choose to take all your focus and put it inside of a body, it would make sense for your soul to have some sort of a plan and say, hey, I need you to work through these issues. I want you to have these advantages because this is kind of what I want to get out of this life. It has an idea of what it wants for you to learn and what it wants you to accomplish and what kind of transformation it wants to have through the life that you are about to live prior to coming to this earth. But when you come to this planet, in the beginning, of course, you're just exposed to everything that you kind of deliberately chose, whether it's your parents, where you live, and your circumstances, and whether it's positive or negative, because it needs you to, gain some muscles and insight before you go out into the world as an adult. But once you are an adult, I mean, even a teenager, and you make decisions. You choose to make big decisions and say, hey, this is what I want to do with my life, or this is who I want to be with. This is the path I want to take. When you make those decisions, even as a master manifester, those decisions either align with your soul purpose or they don't, because your soul says, hey, this is what I have intended for you. And you say, well, I don't know if I want to go that direction. I'm going to kind of do my own thing because this is the path of least resistance for me. And this is what I really want. And this is what society wants me to want. And this makes perfect sense. Now, sometimes those decisions you make are totally in alignment with your soul's purpose, and sometimes they're not. But how do you know if they are or if they are not? Now, law of attraction says if you're negative, bad things happen. If you're positive, good things happen. But sometimes you are being positive, hopeful, and things don't go your way. And this is what this episode's about. This episode is for you to be able to have the tools to recognize when the decisions you're making sometimes might not be aligned with your soul's purpose. And this is how you figure it out. If you make a decision to follow a path and you take it, and all of a sudden, all the roads seem to be blocked. Generally, that means that the universe is supporting you by blocking it so you can find your actual path. Now, mind you, I didn't say the universe is not supporting you. The universe is always supporting you. Now, it supports you by opening doors that make sense for your evolution, or it supports you by closing doors to help you reroute. So, something you've wanted to do and you're doing it, and all of a sudden you notice that nothing is working out. You're hitting every single wall. That generally is a sign that the universe, your soul, your higher self is actually blocking that and putting roadblocks in your path so you can keep taking alternate paths until you find a path that is more agreeable with your soul. And when that happens, you notice that immediately doors start opening, opportunities keep showing up, and things start to work out. Now, that only happens for certain people, but that doesn't happen for everyone. Because if you've been negative and now you're just going down this horrible rabbit hole of woe is me, and you're just not hopeful, even the universe can't override your dominant vibration of negativity. You kind of have to ride through that and get through the darkness and start being hopeful again until it starts opening doors for you. But sometimes we have so much conviction in what we want, okay? So much conviction that even when we take the wrong path, because we have so much conviction and we don't give ourselves an alternate plan or a plan B, the universe admires your conviction and says, hey, even if you're making the wrong choice, I'm going to block all these doors for you. But because you have conviction, I'm going to put you on a different path, show you a different path, and let these roadblocks lead you to a different path. And because your energy is of conviction, I'm going to make sure that you end up on a path that starts opening doors for you. But here's the thing, when you find a path, that's an alternate path, it's not the one you intended, and you notice that the doors begin to open, you got to go on that path. You got to follow that path because that is your new path. But what happens is a lot of times people go on that path and then they remember the original idea and then they revert back to it. And when they do that, then the doors start to close again. So it's important to be flexible because flexibility allows you to have conviction still, but when new doors open, you just got to make sure you're walking through them. And when you're walking through them, and the universe knows that you're a determined human being and flexible enough to change course when necessary, it will lead you to another path and another path and another path until the paths align with your soul's purpose again. But you got to be aware of which turn you took that opened the doors, and you got to be aware of which turn you took that closed the doors. But because people don't know or notice or acknowledge that their soul has a lot invested in them and is always communicating with them and is always presenting open or closed doors for them as a indicator of where they are headed or how much support they have with their decision making, because they don't know this stuff, they just bang around the closed doors and complain that life isn't working out. And then they find a new path and doors start opening. And then they get so excited. And then they go back to their old path and doors start closing again. And then they're just so confused because life does not seem to make sense. But if you look at it as when you're aligned with your soul's path, doors open. And when you're misaligned with your soul's path, doors continue to stay closed. Then you can acknowledge the idea that, wait a minute, maybe my soul wants me to go this way. That's why this path is working out. And maybe my soul didn't want me to go that way. That's why it kept closing the paths. But this is for you to notice. This is for you to decide. And you need to be observant in your life. And don't listen to someone else telling you what the best decision is for you to make, because no one else is on your path. The only source of information that you can truly rely on is how the universe is responding to you and what kind of feedback it's giving you. So if you're taking this path that is new and it feels amazing and it feels comfortable and it feels great, but it's not what you originally intended, think about it. Think about the opportunity that the universe might be showing you. And then just go with it, see what happens. And also meditate on it, sit on it, think about it. But think about it from a place of love, a place of abundance, not a place of scarcity and fear. Because some people say, I just meditated on something to really get the best answer, but their survival mechanism kicked in. And then all of a sudden, they got into fear mode, scarcity mode, judgment mode, shame mode. And the meditation resulted in them going back to where they were because that's what makes sense for someone who's in survival mode. But you're not here to be in survival mode. Your soul didn't plan for you to come to this planet just to be on survival mode. That makes no sense. I mean, it's good to be in survival mode so you know how to take care of yourself, but ultimately you want to go past that and go into abundance mode and thriving mode and living your best life. And the way you know if you're on your path is if the path that you are being offered keeps opening doors. I know that goes against human logic, because if you persevere and push through and you struggle, then you're a strong human being that overcame all the issues that the universe presented. But the universe doesn't necessarily always want to present you with issues. Oh, darn, but I kind of contradicted myself, because the universe does sometimes give you issues for you to overcome because you haven't built enough courage yet, you haven't built enough strength yet, and you kind of do need that. But sometimes if you take a leap of faith, you can bypass the struggles and just kind of go with the flow and end up where you're supposed to be. All right. So I hope I didn't go off on a tangent too much. The breakdown was your soul has a purpose before you come in. Then once you come in, it also guides you to make sure that you are living your best life and you are transforming in the way that it wants you to transform, because it's its transformation. When you transform, it transforms. When you elevate your consciousness, you're elevating its consciousness. It is directly tied to you, and its success is your success. Your success is its success. So it's very much invested in you. And it will show you when you're on your path by opening doors. It will close doors when you're off your path. And it will always open another door for you, even when you are not on the right path. But it's your job to recognize that somebody is watching over you. Somebody's got your back, and it's not a friend. It is your soul, your higher self. It's the God aspect of you that's watching out for you and saying, hey, this door is yours if you want to step in it, or this path is yours, but you have to take a leap of faith. And sometimes that means changing your mind about where you are in your life. So that's basically all I had to say today. And I just wanted to continue the theme of intuition and inner knowledge and spiritual support by saying that you're not alone in this world and you are fully supported, and there's always someone watching out for you. Just look at the signs, look at how it's transmitting its support as a form of feedback in your life and supporting you in the ways that it does. And that's yours to analyze, yours to judge. It's no one else's to determine but you. Okay? Because everyone has their own personal agenda. So you want to kind of take ideas from other people, but never take full on advice as to what you should do, unless it really is calling to you. But that's it. That's it. That's the episode for today. It was a short episode, but I think it was a loaded episode. And I think it's something that a lot of us want to hear. And there's a lot of benefit to understanding, truly understanding what was said in this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode or having you listen to the next episode. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.